to the Token and Hobbs Show on the Roads to Liberty Network.
Good evening, everybody. It's a Tuesday night. You're riding with the Roads crew. This is the Roads to Liberty podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Token, joining my buddy, my partner in crime, Mr. Guns himself, Dustin Hobbs. What's up, my man?
Mr. Guns. I think I'll go with that one.
Mr. Guns. It's not the Token and Hobbs Show anymore. It's the Token and Guns Show. Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Mr. Guns? That's gonna be your alias when the FBI comes looking for us. It's like, we are looking for two wanted criminals. They are wanted for the tarring and feathering of dozens of politicians. Token and Mr. Guns.
Well, in my defense, they had it coming.
They did have it coming. You know, if we ever found ourselves tarring and feathering a politician, damn right they had it coming. We don't just tar and feather any old politicians.
Right.
Even though we would be perfectly justified in tarring and feathering any old politician. No. We say that for just the most perfect kinds of politicians. We're talking about people like Governor Blackface himself out in Virginia.
Oh, Coon Man. We got a little. We got a little bit to talk about in regards to old Coon Man and his antics that he's getting up to.
Yeah, he's trying to kick off the war of Northman aggression. Is what I hear.
I know. I think a lot of people that when I posted that comment, and that is my comment, that just came to me.
That's Mr. Guns' comment, not mine. I stole it from him.
That is. You know, that's something I just came up with off the top of my head. I'm like, Northern. You know, people who may not know, Southerners refer to the First Civil War as the War of Northern Aggression.
Did you just say the First Civil War?
Yeah. That's a little thing we call foreshadowing. But anyways, since the governor of Virginia is named Northam, I thought it was kind of a clever little play on words to call this potential kerfuffle that thankfully didn't materialize the war of Northam aggression. So,
I love how you said kerfuffle because I was just about to call it that.
Yes.
The great kerfuffle.
Yes.
Of 2020.
The kerfuffle of Northam aggression.
The kerfuffle of Northman aggression. Yes, that is what we're going to call it. The great kerfuffle of Northman aggression. So, you've been in touch more with the guys on the ground that have actually went to this rally.
A little bit.
Brandon Binder of Thick Boogly, who are actually good cat. Next episode of Observations is coming Friday. You're talking to Thick Boogly boys again.
Yep. Yes, I am.
All right. So what do they have to say about it? They were there on the ground. They were live streaming. What did they have to say about the whole deal?
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get any of Brandon's live streams to work. I was at work. I didn't have my headset on me, but I was planning on viewing them, just turning them on my phone and then pushing them out so anybody else could. Every time I tried, my screen would just go black, and I couldn't get anything. But I've talked to Mark and Justin and Brandon a little bit. You know, we haven't gone too much in depth, but from what I've been able to glean from their social media posts, the news reporting, and the social media posts of both people that were on our side and the opposition side, what you see in the pictures is essentially what happened out there. It was a peaceful event. It was there were people from all walks of life, all races, all genders, all sexual proclivities, whatever. Everybody came together for a common cause, and that cause is the individual right to bear arms. Not white people's right to bear arms, not straight people's right to bear arms, not Republicans' people's right to bear arms. Everybody. And I've seen a lot of hay being made out there, and I'm ashamed to say some of my associates and my friends that I was in the Army or used to go to work with have been trying to make hay out of, oh, the majority of the people or almost all the people there were just a bunch of white men. So fucking what? I don't care if every single face to the man was white out there. They were protesting for your right too. It doesn't matter. They weren't protesting for white people's rights. They were protesting for every American's God-given rights to protect themselves and their property. That is the takeaway. And it came off. The New York Times reports 22,000. Some people are saying over 30,000. I don't know. The aerial shots that I've seen could be 50 to 100,000. People were packed in there like sardines. Who knows what the real number is? You know, take the media's official count and double it or triple it. That's what I'm getting out of it. They're trying to underplay it, trying to make it out to be, and they always use the same pictures of the same big chunguses out there in poor-fitting surplus gear, looking like they're, you know, ate up like a soup sandwich, when in reality, you had everybody out there demonstrating peacefully, and to just give the narrative a complete kick in the nuts after everything was said and done, they cleaned up after themselves, pulled trash bags out of their pockets, scraped stickers off of the sidewalk as people were walking around with orange "Guns Save Lives" stickers. You know, if they fell off and fell on the sidewalk, they're out there with pocket knives scraping them off of the sidewalk, picking up all of their trash. You don't see that at Occupy Wall Street. You don't see that at an Antifa. Fuck, Antifa will throw a trash can through a window and spill it all over the streets. So the takeaway is you've got this massive group of people. Most of them are armed. Most of the people who were armed were tooled up like they're about to halo drop into fucking Fallujah, and nothing happened. One arrest. A woman got into the fenced-in area and pulled a mask up. They said, hey, no masks in this area. She made a big deal. They arrested her. That's it. Tens of thousands of people, one arrest.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about it. When I saw the aerial photograph, I kept seeing people online going, oh, no, what a dangerous situation we got here. I'm like, tens of thousands of well-armed individuals gathering together. There must have been massive casualties. But no, there weren't. Not a single casualty. Imagine my shock, right?
No injuries, one arrest for one woman being a dumbass.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like related. It wasn't even like hardly related to the situation at all. It's just some lady that jumped the fence and put a mask up.
Yep.
Like, okay.
Yeah. Got. She didn't jump the fence. She went through the metal detectors and because there's only one entrance to a 14-acre fenced-off area that they wanded you down and had you go through a metal detector. And
yeah, your First Amendment zone.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So she got through that and then put a mask on, and you know, some felony thing where you're not allowed to wear a mask at these sorts of demonstrations. Thanks, Antifa, you fucking retards.
Yeah, it's kind of hilarious though that the governor of Northman declared a state of emergency for this event, right? Yeah. And then cordoned off this area around the Capitol where you couldn't carry a weapon. But there was nobody even there. It was Martin Luther King Day. Nobody was working in the building. The governor wasn't there. The legislature wasn't there. Nobody was there. So why declare a state of national emergency? Well, the reason, of course, is that once you do that, then you can get the message out there that these are all a bunch of domestic terrorists. To get the narrative going that these are just a bunch of violent, angry white nationalists and Nazis and whatever the case may be. You get that narrative going and you kick off with the state of emergency. Like, he's a violent domestic terrorist. And like, no, they weren't. They're just regular dudes who support their right to bear arms, gathering together to tell you in no uncertain terms, fuck around and find out.
And that's exactly what it was.
That's what this demonstration was all about. I think a lot of people are like, oh, well, why do they have to carry guns? Because that's the message they're trying to send. Fuck around, find out. All right, carrying signs doesn't convey that message quite so perfectly. Right? Having cute little chants doesn't convey that message. Having thousands of armed and armored citizens gathering outside the Virginia state capitol, telling them we will not comply, that sends a message.
Right.
Right? That sends the message that if you want to enforce these gun laws, you've got a literal army of people who will not comply with you, and they're armed, and they're armored, and they know what they're doing, right? Fuck around and find out.
Yep. Absolutely. It was very, very heartwarming to not only see your typical, militia, threepers, those types of guys out there, but you had moms with their kids and families. The thing that really kind of raised my spirits and gave me a little more hope was that there were several sheriff's departments in uniform with banners and signs saying, no, not on our watch. You want to try that shit? It's not going to happen in my county. And that is the strongest message to be sent, because a sheriff, as opposed to like highway patrol or anything, a sheriff is the only elected law enforcement officer in this country. Your county sheriff pulls more weight than the FBI. They pull more weight than anything in the DOJ. They pull more weight than the highway patrol, state troopers, any town police department, any of that. Your county sheriff, if they know their own power and they're on your side, is probably your best friend and your best weapon against things like what Governor Northam is trying to do in Virginia.
Exactly. You get the sheriff's department on your side, and you're practically untouchable. The governor himself can be arrested by the sheriff's department if he's, fucking around. He's gonna find out. That's what's going to happen, and that's what's going to happen in a lot of these sanctuary counties that have popped up around Virginia. They popped up with the aim of opposing gun laws passed in Richmond, right? Because the Democrats in Virginia, they only have the support of the major cities, right? It's not like this is a statewide support that these Democrats had. It's like the rest of the country, right? They control the major cities, and the rest of the state is set against them, right? So like, for instance, red flag laws is one of the big things they're going, and the Democrats are actually saying that they're going to push forward more red flag laws despite this protest. Big shocker there. But yeah, they're going to push forward these red flag laws. So what can we do in the case of, what can a sheriff's office do in the case of red flag laws? Well, what they can do is, one, refuse to enforce them, which is perfectly within their rights to do so, and two, obstruct any attempts by state police or the FBI to enforce them as well. They have that power. They can do that. So if you have the sheriff's department on your side, which it seems like a lot are, then they can be a huge headache to Governor Blackface up in Richmond.
Yep.
So, as I said, Democrats, they're going to push forward with these red flag laws anyway. I got a little, let me say, Democrat lawmakers, including House Speaker Eileen Filler and Senate Majority Leader Dick Saslaw, told AP the rally wouldn't impact their plans to pass gun control measures, including universal background checks and one handgun purchase a month limit. Democrats say tightening Virginia's gun laws will make communities safer and help prevent mass shootings like the one last year in Virginia Beach, where a dozen people were killed in a municipal building. Trump had this to say on Twitter. He goes, "The Democratic Party in the great Commonwealth of Virginia are working hard to take away your Second Amendment rights. This is just the beginning. Don't let it happen. Vote Republican in 2020. It's kind of funny, Donald Trump. You did pass an executive order banning bump stocks. What was it, last year? Or was it the year before? I don't remember.
2018.
Yeah, but you have no place to talk, Mr. Trump. No, you haven't exactly been the greatest defender of our Second Amendment rights yourself. All right, Mr. Take the guns first and due process second. That is a red flag law. All right, you understand that, right?
Yep.
That's what red flag laws are. Take the property first, then due process. All right, those were your words, Mr. President. We have video of it. We've played that video here on this show for you guys. All right.
Yep.
We've played that video here. So there's no question about whether or not he said it.
Right.
So you're not exactly the greatest defender of Second Amendment rights yourself.
Right. He's just using it as a wedge issue like they always do. When they have a majority, they don't pass any of the things that they say that they would pass if they got elected. And when they're out of power, they use these wedge issues to try and get themselves back into power. And then the cycle just continues over and over. It doesn't matter if it's a Democrat or a Republican. Both sides do this. Trump is just more bombastic and in your face about it because he's constantly on Twitter talking shit. And that's one of the things that's very, it's very endearing about the guy is that he's going directly to the people through social media and talking shit on his, fellow Washingtonians. But at the same token, it's like, shit or get off, shit or get off the pot, dude. Don't just say you're going to defend the Second Amendment. I want to see some action. Words, action talks, bullshit walks. Let's see some stuff here, man. Flex that muscle.
All right, he could if he wanted to. He's just not going to. He's just, like you said, it's a wedge issue. He's going to use it to get Republicans' votes in 2020, and the Republicans are going to use their votes to trample on different rights, not necessarily Second Amendment rights. Although Trump has done that, but they'll use that vote to trample on a different set of rights. So it's kind of a pick your poison situation that you end up with, right? Oh, do you want to lose your Second Amendment rights, or do you want to lose your First Amendment rights? Do you want to have guns here at home, or do you want to be involved in endless wars overseas, right? So it's kind of like
damned if you do, damned if you don't. You always try to vote libertarian,
I was about to say, if only there was a third option. If only there was another party that simultaneously supported all of your rights.
Yeah.
Right? That was uncompromising in our support of the Second Amendment. That was uncompromising in our opposition to foreign interventionism.
God, it would be great, wouldn't it?
A party that wanted to eliminate the drug war entirely. That wanted to eliminate regulations and taxes. Abolish the Fed.
I guess the world will never know.
I know. I mean, such a party could never exist. Could it?
Never.
And you know what they say. Oh, yeah, the Libertarian Party. You can't vote for them. That's throwing away your vote. Now, see, what you should do instead of throwing away your vote is to vote for this guy that is only half shit. That's not throwing away your vote, right? You're only losing half your rights with that guy.
Yeah.
And for the other guy, you're losing the other half of your rights. So, I mean, which half of your freedoms do you want to lose?
I personally would prefer none, but I'm afraid this is where that old libertarian axiom of there's no such thing as a free lunch is going to come back and bite us in the ass. Everything comes with a cost.
I suppose that's true. I need to get me another one of these. I made this drink way too strong tonight.
So I need another one.
What? Oh, delicious. Very, very good. Well, you know how it is. The more you drink, the more you want to drink until you hit that plateau, right? You hit the plateau, and there's boom. You're just down from there.
Yep.
You're feeling good, then down. All right. So who do we tar and feather first? All right. If we're making a list, is it Governor Blackface? Is he number one on our list?
Well, since he enjoys getting himself all darked up for any occasion, he might actually enjoy getting tarred. Feathers.
Maybe he might not enjoy being feathered though.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. He'd be a good one to make an example out of. You keep saying fuck around and find out, but it's true. And he right now he owes his office, and just about every Democrat in that state owes their office to Michael Bloomberg, which is why they're going so full steam ahead, so hard, and not even hiding it anymore. You know, the gun grabbers, they used to have this incrementalist approach to trampling on the Second Amendment, where they would only take a little bit at a time, little bit here and there. Now they're just like, and you know, I talked to Russell Sage about it last Friday, was that Robert Francis really let the cat out of the bag with his, hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15. You know, he really let it out of the bag, and now they're like, oh shit, the mask has slipped. We are about confiscation.
Yeah, but a lot of people are still trying to pretend that's not what they're about. Like, I keep seeing it. We're like, no one's trying to take your guns. You're paranoid. What's the matter with you, man? Like, what do you mean no one's trying? Yes, they are. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, they are. Like, it was hilarious yesterday, right? I don't remember what the name of this page was, but there was this page talking shit. They were doing this hilarious thing that gun grabbers like to do, where they think that they just obsess about the private parts of gun owners. I'm sure you've noticed this, where all of a sudden you have every leftist news outlet you can think of just talking about how gun owners have little dicks. It was like, what? That's the first thing you go to. That's the story you're going with. Like I got this article from the rawstory.com. Its title is "Emasculated Virginia Gun Nuts Mocked for Purchasing Toys, Dressing Up in Costumes, and Playing Fantasy Games." Like, what kind of bizarre shit is this? Why are leftists so obsessed with the dick sizes of gun owners? It's such a weird thing, and it's so consistent because it happens every single time. Yep. This is like the first thing they go to. And it's like, emasculated Virginia gun nuts. Oh, nuts were they? You know, if they were nuts, there may have been some violence going on at that gun rally. No violence. There may have been some arrests. One arrest for wearing a mask. There may have been some public disturbances. No, nothing like that. Maybe they left
cleaner than they came.
Yeah, no, so gun nuts. I don't know about that. Mocked for purchasing toys and dressing up in costumes. I don't know about you, dude, but none of that equipment I saw looked like toys or costumes. Like, I've been seeing a lot of leftists compare this to a cosplay. Like, cosplay implies that it's fake, right? That it's a costume, that it's not real, it's not functional, it's not practical. That's what cosplay implies, right?
Yep.
These were real guns. Real plate carriers, real plates, real helmets, real ammunition. Yep. There's nothing cosplay or costume or toyish about any of that. This is just straight up lies.
Yep.
Is what this is.
Varying degrees of quality amongst the gear out there, but it was all legit kit. Everything that I could see. You know, some of it was cheap, like Condor, barely suitable for airsoft and paintball, all the way up to like Cry Precision and First Spear, like the triple-digit heavy hitters. You know, real pipe hitting type shit. You know, like I said, varying degrees of quality, but every single piece that I saw will do the job at a pinch.
Mercedes says, that's why knowing the state party doesn't support old Pete makes me sleep sound at night. Yeah, Pete Ricketts is a real fuckhead, and none of us like him. She also says, perfect show of a well-formed militia, which indeed it was. It was a good showing. And for those of you who don't know, Pete Ricketts is the governor of the great and very cold at present state of Nebraska. And yes, he is a total fuckhead that none of us like.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we don't like that guy. But yeah, fucking it's a weird thing. Like, I don't understand why this is like the go-to insult for leftists, because these are the same guys who are supposedly get all up in arms about body shaming, right? It's like, oh no, like if we were talking about a women's march, right? And I said,
coincidentally took place on Sunday.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. But if we were talking about a women's march and I said, oh, I bet all those women got little bitty titties, you think that might cause some stir among these very same leftists? Like, oh, they're only in the women's march because they got itty bitty titties.
I don't know. You see some comments that are, you see these like cringy women's march signs, and then somebody will comment something like, wow, that's a weird way to say no one will fuck me. And that kind of falls into the same category.
Well, it kind of does, but that gets an immediate reaction.
Yes, it does.
From these leftists. Like, how dare you body shame? Right? And I kind of get that. Because if your response to somebody's argument is, oh, you got little titties or you got a little dick, then you're just being stupid. You're just being a fuckhead, essentially, at that point.
And ad hominem is the first sign that you've lost the argument.
I mean, so it's weird that these same people that go all crazy at a comment about body shaming are the ones to make these little dick jokes. It doesn't make any sense, and it's so weird and out of place every single time. It was funny though, because yesterday there was a Facebook page, I don't remember the name. They were doing this thing, right? And they showed a picture of a guy holding an AR-15, and they went on and on and on about assault rifles. And I just asked the question, what is an assault rifle? And they posted the definition, and in the definition it had automatic weapon. I'm like, oh, well, how about that? Well, that's not an assault rifle, dude. That's a semi-automatic weapon, not an automatic weapon. Maybe next time you should fucking learn a thing or two about a topic before you start talking about it. And next thing I know, I'm banned.
He speaks the truth. Shun him.
Yeah, that was that was kind of funny. I wish they wouldn't have banned me though, because I was going all off on them because they were being complete idiots. What are we gonna talk about next? Oh, we can talk about Killdozer.
Yeah.
You found a Killdozer, a trailer for a Killdozer documentary. I didn't know this was being made, but we can talk about that. So this is the trailer for, what's it called? Tread.
Pull that gloriousness up full size. Take our ugly mugs off of here. Let everybody bask in the glory of this.
Tread. All right, I'm going to play the trailer for you guys.
Hello, my name is Marvin Heemeyer.
He had a great
And I'm an American hero.
reputation in the town. I mean, he was an outdoorsman. I didn't ever meet anybody who disliked him.
Marv had a knack for welding, working on engines and motors.
He was confident, and I thought he was handsome, and he was larger than life. But I didn't get that feeling that he was so angry. No one realized how distorted it was becoming to him.
I am making this tape for the task that I am about to undertake.
In Marv's mind, the town's not treating him fairly.
It's a kind of a community that in order for you to get ahead, you have to keep the neighbor down. Enough is enough. I'm not going to take it anymore.
This huge monstrosity, it looks like a tank. How do I stop this?
God expects me to do something to those who kept me from getting what I deserve. God's will be done. Through me.
Dude, that is some epic shit right there.
Tread on those who tread on you.
Man, all he's missing is a well-armed militia at his back and a big old barrel of tar and a big old sack of feathers.
Yes, sir.
That's all he's missing. Then he could just go down to that city council and just tar and feather some politicians. Like, you guys look like politicians. Get in the barrel. Get in there.
Go on, get.
I mean, honestly, though, what's going to make politicians more afraid than if we actually started tarring and feathering them? Back in the day when tar and feathering was a thing, politicians were just members of the community, right? They lived where you lived. They worked where you worked. They were part-time legislators, right? They were members of the community that you all decided, hey, you're the least fucked up out of the lot of us. We'll send you to write some laws. And if they went up there and they did some bullshit, they come home and got tarred and feathered.
Yep, you got tarred, feathered, and rode out of town on a rail.
See, this is one of the reasons why federalized government is so important, why localized government is especially important, right? Because, like, think of your congressman, right? When's the last time you saw him? Ever? Does he ever come back to the to the home and just hang out among the people? Does he work a regular job back in the district?
Well, you can ask Ben. Ben lives like 6 blocks away from him, he said. So
well, Ben probably sees him. Well, that's perfect. Ben's in a perfect position to tar and feather a congressman then.
Exactly.
But no, you like these politicians, they practically live in DC. They don't give a shit about you. They don't actually live and exist in the communities that they represent. So they're not actually afraid of, the people that they represent, or the people that they claim to represent in any case.
Yeah.
Right? Not like the old days, not like the days where it was just a guy that you chose to send to Washington, D.C. to write some laws, and if they fucked up, they'd know it when they got back.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, I'm looking forward to this movie, Tread. That looks exciting. A movie about Killdozer. I mean, we're way overdue for that.
I know. My only concern about the movie is that they're going to portray him in a bad light. That they're going to make him out to be some type of, crazy guy with brain worms or something that would just, went nuts and demolished half a town for no reason. That they won't get into the reasons why he did what he did, which was a local government that wasn't being held accountable. And so he decided to decided to be a reasonable man forced to do some unreasonable things.
I mean, that's the thing about Killdozer is his status as a symbol is almost more valuable than, like, the man himself. He's like Batman, right? Yeah. Batman is more valuable as a symbol than he is as the actual Batman, right? It's like Killdozer is a symbol of violent resistance to tyranny, and that's what makes it valuable. It almost doesn't matter what the dude's personal story is, but the symbol that the Killdozer is immensely valuable as a sign of resistance to government tyranny.
Yep, and the even the name of it though is a bit of a misnomer because they say Killdozer, but the only person that died in that entire exchange was Marvin Heemeyer. He kind of went out of his way. He could have ran over a bunch of people, could have ran over cop cars and ran over cops and everything, but all he did was just demolish the personal property of the people he didn't hit everyday person's houses either. He went through City Hall and he went through a bunch of buildings and businesses owned by the politicians that had wronged him. So that was, and he didn't kill anybody. bunch of property damage, like $1.6 million. But when the Killdozer got stuck, you know, it was going through a building, and then the floor fell out, and he fell into the basement and couldn't get out. Well, shot himself in the head, unfortunately.
Yep, the only casualty that day.
Yep.
Now, speaking of government tyranny, we have a bit of an anniversary that came up today. It's like yesterday was my birthday. And so the day after my birthday, what comes up but the death of Vladimir Lenin? Yes, Vladimir Lenin, we all remember him as that champion of the people who led the glorious revolution against the Tsars of Russia and liberated the grand Soviet Union from oppression, brought equality to the people, brought in industry, a champion of the laborers. Vladimir Lenin died on this date, 1924, and the world wept for the death of this great man. We shall all...
There he is.
Oh, we will miss you, Mr. Lenin. Can I just say that as a badass national anthem?
It is.
Now, I'm sorry, I hate communists and communism, but that is a really catchy national anthem.
It's very, very uplifting. I don't think it's catchy in the sense that you can, like, sing along to it if it ever came on the radio, but it is one of those things that kind of swells the heart with pride. You know? It helps that I can't understand the lyrics because they're all in Russian, but whatever.
Well, it helped. They got the subtitles right there for us.
Yeah, I'm not reading them precisely because I don't want to understand them. It's just...
Along the new path where the great Lenin did lead.
Yeah.
To a righteous cause, he raised up the peoples.
Right. Raised
Inspired them to labor and valorous deed.
Until they died.
Sing to the motherland, home of the free. Ha! Home of the free.
Right.
It just keeps going.
Yeah, that's enough of that.
Okay, yeah, that's enough of the Soviet national anthem. So yeah, the day after my birthday, Vladimir Lenin died back in 1924. That murderous tyrant.
Yep.
And the world is a better. Oh, the world must be. The only thing that sucked about that is right after he died, Joseph Stalin took over. And if you thought Vladimir Lenin was a murderous douchebag, ooh, yikes!
Boy, howdy! Old glorious mustache said, "Hold my vodka."
That's like if Benito Mussolini died, and everyone's like, "Oh, that douchebag's gone," and then you find out that he left the country to Adolf Hitler. I'm like, oh, damn it. You stupid asshole. Why did you do that?
Yep.
I don't know, man.
What?
It's so funny, too. It's like, I was... The only reason I found out about this is because some communist page was like, oh, guys, Vladimir Lenin died back on this date in 1924. Press F to pay respect. And then I go through the comments section. Everyone's pressing S. Like, S? What the fuck is S? Apparently S stands for spit. Spit on the Brutas.
Yep, it was pretty funny to read some of the comments. And then they got like grade school bullied kid who's like, what was it that they said? Something along the lines of, hey, all of your mockery is just increasing our reach. It's like the bullied little nerd kid tells the bully that, yeah, you're just picking on me because you're jealous. It's like, no, it's because you're a fucking nerd.
Oh, I love it, dude. It's fun seeing fucking communists get all butthurt when you pay absolutely zero respect to their heroes.
Yep.
It's like, oh man, Lenin died, guys. Like, whew. And he's been a good communist ever since.
Yep. And they get all butthurt, and you just keep on heaping on the scorn, and it's like, well, you got to keep heaping it on because they got to go and redistribute it to the others.
Death is a preferable option to communism.
That's
Liberty
right.
Prime taught me that.
Yes.
As he started fucking throwing mini nukes at the capital wasteland and killing ghouls and God knows what else. See, Fallout is the ultimate ANCAP wet dream because they really have recreational McNukes in the Fallout.
Yep.
You can throw them with your hand. Is how awesome.
Dead than red.
Death is a preferable alternative to communism. Like, fuck yeah, Liberty Prime. You're the best. We could all learn a thing or two from Liberty Prime. In fact, I'm gonna find some Liberty Prime right now. Where I gotta find some.
I need to get a soundboard for future.
We do need to get a soundboard. I just don't know how to hook one up to this system.
Like I can do a lot of voice impersonations, but I think an actual soundboard would probably be better.
Probably. Oh wait! I think I found him. I gotta share the screen. I think I found me some sweet Liberty Prime. All right, give me a second. Oh, there he is.
There
he is. Shooting at I know you can't see him, but Vladimir Lenin is on the receiving end of those lasers. Look, he just stomped on some communists.
Communist target acquired.
Communist target acquired. Oh, what did he got? What did he got? McNuke! Yeah! Fucking McNuke! Get him! Get him, Liberty Prime! This is the perfect ANCAP game right here.
I prefer New Vegas myself, but Fallout 3 is pretty good.
Fallout Vegas. Communist threat assessment. Now, do you think that this was like meant as a satire? Like, oh, they're making fun of anti-communists. Sort of like how Ron Swanson was supposed to be a satirical take on libertarians, but we've just kind of adopted him because of how awesome he is.
I don't know. The developers of Fallout 3 are in Bethesda, Maryland, which is right outside of Washington, D.C., so it is possible, nay, probable, that it is meant to be an over-the-top satire. But the whole game is meant to be kind of an over-the-top satire of, like, that 1950s Red Scare McCarthyism type thing. So, it fits in. And the sayings, a lot of them are great. I love it. Liberty Prime is definitely /our guy /.
Yeah, he definitely is. Liberty Prime is like the greatest robot in fiction. Well, what do you mean the greatest robot in fiction? I mean, the Iron Giant is definitely up there. He was pretty awesome.
R2-D2.
R2-D2. But let's be honest, R2-D2 he's not a giant nuke grenade throwing robot. He's not on that level. I mean, he's useful. He can open a door for you, right? But I mean, he's not gonna take out a whole army of communists for you. And really, what do you need more than a robot that will take out an army of communists? What could be more useful than that?
I don't know. I honestly think that might just be the epitome of mechanized usefulness right there. And
probably.
Speaking of an army of communists, Project Veritas is dropping bombs lately.
Oh, I haven't even seen this. Fill me in.
Okay, so Project Veritas is now up to three videos, undercover videos of some of Bernie Sanders' staffers talking about how the Glorious Revolution is going to bring about gulags, re-education camps, about how the secret sauce behind the free school for everybody and all that other bullcrap that they keep talking about is it's actually an effort to get as many people into public universities as possible in order to brainwash them. And there's all sorts of crazy crap that they're up to 3 videos now. You can go to the Project Veritas Action YouTube page. That's not Project Veritas, it's Project Veritas Action. And they're currently undercover with, I think, 3 or 4 different staffers of his, and it's all just hardcore communist revolutionary rhetoric. And they're saying, like, oh, we're not the outliers. There's lots of people like us in Bernie Sanders' campaign. And it's like, to you and me, that's like, yeah, no shit. But to the unred-pilled normies out there, it's kind of come as a big shock. And predictably, the media and the Bernie Sanders fanboys are trying to poo-poo this, like, oh, this is nothing. This is just some staffers out there getting drunk and talking shit about their ideal communist utopia. Pay no mind. And I think that's a mistake, because this might actually help Bernie in the primaries when you've got the hardcore left-wing base in the Democratic primaries that will see this and be like, yeah, Bernie's going to lead us into the great socialist utopia. But come general, you can guarantee that the GOP and Donald Trump would take this and absolutely run with it, and rightfully so. Hell, the Libertarian Party should take it and run with it.
No, we absolutely should, provided that we have a suitable candidate who's not going to fall flat on their face when given the opportunity. Speaking of which, we interviewed Jacob Hornberger last night. That episode will be up soon. Stay tuned for that. You can see that already on our Facebook page. Little plug-in for you guys. But yeah, we all know that Bernie Sanders is if he's not a communist now, I would be very much surprised, because this is a dude that took his honeymoon to Moscow at the height of the Soviet Union. This is a guy that praises bread lines, right? Like, oh, people talk about bread lines as if they're such a bad thing, but in reality, bread lines are a good thing. We like bread lines. Bread lines are good. And he's a guy that praises the Cuban healthcare system and the Soviet transportation system. He's a guy that's all about communist regimes and dictatorships. And we're supposed to just believe that, oh, like, he's softened up in his old age, that he's not that same guy anymore. Like, no, we all know he is, right? This is a guy that has plenty of communist sympathies at the very least, and he's got hardcore communists all up and down his campaign staff. So don't tell me that this is a guy that we don't have to worry about, right?
Right.
And you know who else has to worry about him? Apparently Elizabeth Warren. Well, he has to worry about her, because he apparently told her back in 2018 that he didn't think a woman could beat Donald Trump. And the woman who's been pretending to be a Native American her whole life took offense to that. Can you imagine? Imagine the goal. Quite hilarious that we have this he said, she said moment where I thought we were just supposed to automatically believe all women's, right?
Believe women.
We're supposed to believe women's. We're supposed to shut up and listen and believe. Well, that's what we were told a couple of years ago during the Kavanaugh hearings, right? What we had was the he said, she said. But I guess if you're a Bernie Sanders supporter now, no, not so much. You're not supposed to just believe what all women say.
Right.
Here's the funny thing about it, though. Here's the thing that really makes me laugh. Even if he did say that, so the fuck what? I mean, didn't we hear after Hillary Clinton lost to Donald Trump that the reason was America is too sexist to elect a woman? I mean, am I just imagining that? Right? I saw that, right? I'm not. This is not something I just imagined. It's a real thing. Like, I kept seeing article after article of people saying, "Oh, the reason Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton is America is just too sexist for a woman. America is just not ready to accept a woman." And in which case, if that is actually true, then what Bernie Sanders said would have been correct.
Yep.
So why are you so pissed off at him for it?
And apparently this meeting took place back in 2017, so it makes even more sense if what you're saying is,
exactly. And if it's really true that winning this election, this one election, is the most important thing in the world, you actually have to win it, most important election of our lifetime, then you got to take that into account, don't you? I mean, if you think the reason Hillary lost is because she was a woman, then it stands to reason that you shouldn't nominate a woman, because then she'll just lose again, right? Unless that wasn't the reason at all. And in which case, that excuse goes out the window and you can stop with that narrative already, right?
Yep. Unfortunately, what I think that this is all about is I think that with the Project Veritas leaks, the DNC is, again, trying to bury Bernie Sanders because he's just got too much baggage. He's too much too quick. Just like old Robert Francis let the cat out of the bag that, hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15s, is the plan all along. I think that they see Bernie and his supporters as letting the cat out of the bag too, that super high taxes and government provided everything in order to get people on the government dole and become dependent on the state is the plan all along. And now with these Project Veritas leaks, it's really becoming obvious that if Bernie doesn't hold these views, then the people he associates with does, which is just as bad because he's going to be the guy putting people into cabinet positions. So I think that what they're going to do is they're strategic. They're getting their strategery out, and they're hey, accuse Bernie of sexism, do whatever it takes to try and bury his campaign because he's got too many red skeletons in his closet.
Yeah, if only they were just skeletons instead of real life people.
Yeah,
I mean, it's funny because it's so stupid, some of the things people say about this. I got an article from thenation.com and it's titled "Unity Requires Recognizing that Warren is Telling the Truth. At the same time, tolerance must allow that Sanders isn't lying." Just want to read you the second paragraph from this article to show just how utterly dumb these people are. It goes, I quote, "However, as a personal issue, I have no doubt that Elizabeth Warren is telling the truth. I know in my soul that she heard what she said she heard. I know it not because I am in any position to vouch for Warren's character. I know it not because I have access to the Federalist Society's Ouija board that allows them to divine the original intent of any conversation. I know it because I'm a black person, an other, quote unquote, and I've been living in a white man's world for 41 years and counting. Oh, by all means, you're black. Therefore, you know that this fake Indian lady is telling the truth about something." Like, how fucking stupid do you expect people to be? Who reads this article, reads that paragraph, and goes, "Oh yeah, that makes sense"?
Apparently, a lot of people.
You're a black person, therefore you have the ability of divine judgment. You just know that she's telling the truth because black. What? Okay, I'm Hispanic. I am using my crystal ball to deem that Elizabeth Warren is lying. She's lying. She's not telling the truth. Who's right? Am I right? Is she right? I mean, she probably has more social justice points than I do because she's also a woman of color. But I mean, that's not the reason she gave for her knowing that Elizabeth Warren is telling the truth. The reason she gave is because black.
Right. Exactly.
That's the reason. Okay.
Under certain circumstances, being able to be automatically given the benefit of the doubt based on a certain immutable characteristic might be described by some as a privilege.
That might be, but we're talking about Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. Now, Bernie Sanders is a Jew, right?
A non-practicing Jew,
but he's still Jewish. Anti-Semites would still hate him for being Jewish heritage, right? So I would think that he had more social brownie points than fake Indian Elizabeth Warren, because she's a white woman, right? Who's more oppressed, white woman or Jewish man? I'm probably going to say with a Jewish. I'm probably going to go with a Jewish man, right? Probably.
Whammon versus Jew. You know, we talked about it with our guest last week. You know, if you're a Jew, you get points unless you publicly shill for Israel. Then you're a bad Jew in the left size. But I think Bernie Sanders is one of those Democrats that's like, I think that what is going on in Israel and Palestine is atrocious and down with Israel. So, you know, he's probably a good Jew in their eyes.
Yeah, we're all supposed, and if you're a leftist, you're just supposed to ignore the fake Indian thing when it comes to Elizabeth Warren, because
Right.
you know Trump was the one that really pulled the rug out from under her, and since Orange Man bad, you're supposed to ignore that fact.
Right. And cultural appropriation is bad, but apparently ethnic appropriation is perfectly good when you're trying to beat the evil Orange Man. So, you know,
Exactly.
whatever.
So the lesson we're supposed to take from this is Elizabeth Warren is telling the truth because black.
Because some other lady is black.
That's literally the only reason that we know. Like, if she had said Elizabeth Warren was lying because black, then she was lying. But now that we know Elizabeth Warren's telling the truth and Bernie Sanders didn't say this, I'm harping back to my original point. So the fuck what? It's not even sexist to say, right?
Right.
Because the progressives have been saying it since Hillary Clinton lost.
Right.
Like, literally, they've been saying that she lost because of sexism this whole time.
Yep.
So why is it so? If it's not even wrong, then why are you so pissy about it?
I don't know, man. It's one of life's little mysteries, I guess. We'll never know.
Nah, well, I think we'll wrap it up with that. I can hear, the baby crying in the other room. The wife is probably wanting me to come out and help her out a little bit. So yeah, that's it. Remember, we had Jacob Warrenberger on the show yesterday. You can check out that video on Facebook right now. Going to have it uploaded to the podcast very soon. You have a guest coming up on Friday, don't you? Want to talk about it?
Three guests coming up on Friday. We're going to be talking to the boys from Thick Boog Line again. We've got Mark and Justin. They're the guys we talked to last time. And we'll also be talking to Brandon Binder, who was the boots on ground at the Richmond rally. So if you're interested in hearing a firsthand perspective on what went down in Richmond yesterday, tune in this Friday, 9 p.m. Central to Observations. We'll be glad to have you. Ask any questions in the live chat, and we'll be sure to answer them. And next week, I'll be talking to Tara Scubella, who is a fellow Naked and Afraid survivalist. She was actually the one that had the displeasure of staring at my tired naked ass for 21 days. We'll be talking about women's hygiene in a grid down scenario. So that should be fun and interesting.
Wait, you were on Naked and Afraid?
Yes.
Really?
You didn't know that?
I don't believe you. You have to prove this.
We'll just leave it there.
Did it make it on the air? No. We're not just going to leave it there. Did it actually air on TV?
Yeah.
I did not know this.
Yes.
You're going to have to send me the video to this. How did I not know this? That you were on Naked and Afraid?
I don't know. How did you think that I was getting all of these survivalists on my show?
I don't know. I just thought that, you just knew how to read. Like, these are just people that have, like, YouTube channels that you like, and you reached out to them.
No.
Right? These are people that...
No, we keep in touch.
You never told me you weren't naked and afraid. I feel betrayed.
I thought
you
knew.
You literally never brought this up.
I don't talk about it very much because my performance was disappointing, but my portrayal on the episode was fucking embarrassing. So I don't talk about it very much.
Well, now we know.
Now we know. Now it's out there.
I'm going to get on YouTube and I'm going to look for Naked and Afraid featuring Dustin Hobbs.
It should be on, I think, like Hulu or Netflix or one of those streaming services, I think.
Oh, God. Now I have to tune in to that episode and ask questions.
Only if you
want so many questions.
Only if you want to see, like, 45 minutes of my bare ass.
I don't want to see that, but I do want to see this episode. Okay, seriously, we gotta go to bed. So that episode's coming out Friday. Next Monday, I have Joshua Flynn, who's running for House of Representatives for the great state of Illinois. He's going to be on the show.
Right
I think so.
Now. Yeah. First comment. Hi, Josh. You're still watching.
Yep. He was watching, and he was the very first comment to come on. So I'm gonna have him on the following Monday. After that, I've got two more interviews scheduled. After that, I'd have to look at the events page for that. All these interviews that we do, they're listed as events on our Facebook page. So you want to see upcoming interviews, you want to get reminders that they're coming up. Go to the Facebook page, look under the events tab, and you'll see all these upcoming interviews. Anything else you want to say before I log off here and go watch your Naked and Afraid episode?
No, I'm okay.
Okay. Then that's it. Have a good night, everybody. Remember, stay sane because the world won't do it for you. And wish me luck to stay sane after I see Hobbs's naked ass on TV. All right, everyone. Have a good night.
Yep. Bye.